attention to debate number 2 because there has been a big storm over A.R. Rahman's communal reasons remark. It has now snowballed into a full-blown controversy. The noted music composer, a legend, has been facing backlash over his comments during an interview in which he suggested that he is getting less work in the Hindi film industry, possibly because of communal reasons. These were his words. He pointed to the power shift in the industry in the last 8 years to suggest bias. The iconic music composer has now issued a clarification after that entire storm, saying that intentions are sometimes misunderstood and that he never really intended to cause any pain through his words. In a video shared on social media, Rahman said that he hoped that his sincerity is felt. Now, the big question is, now that A.R. Rahman has clarified, with those who were jumping to conclusions, will they speak up or not? Now, the PDP chief, Mehbooba Mufti, however, threw her weight behind the Oscar-winning music composer, calling his assessment the truth of today's India. She claimed that Javed Akhtar was contradicting the lived reality of Indian Muslims, including that of his wife Shabana Azmi, who has openly spoken about being denied a house for being a Muslim. Meanwhile, actor and BJP MP Kangana Ranaut has lashed out at A.R. Rahman for allegedly refusing to give music for her film Emergency. She called Rahman prejudiced and hateful and alleged that he even refused to meet her when she wanted to collaborate with him for the film. Kangana claimed that she had to face prejudice and partiality in the film industry only because of her association to the Saffron Party. The question is, why haven't the likes of Mehbooba Mufti spoken on this bias faced by Kangana Ranaut? Does this expose the opposition's selectivity? That's the question. Joining us on the broadcast, Lalit Ambardar, activist. Yuvraj Pukharna stays with us. Advocate Nikhil Jain also on the broadcast with us. And so is Professor Atikur Rahman, political analyst. Thank you for joining us. Professor Atikur Rahman, do you agree with what A.R. Rahman has said? And if yes, do you also sympathize with Kangana Ranaut, who has also spoken of the bias that she has had to face because she supports the BJP?
So I do not understand if A.R. Rahman refuses my film. Had he given any reasons? Kangana herself is, having her own communal overtones in various, aspects. She has delivered her lectures. Perhaps she should understand. What I mean to say is, A.R. Rahman, since the beginning, what I perceived his, lines, that he is just saying that people have become uncreative. There is a deep sense of uncreativity coming in.
But it's not just uncreativity or lack of creativity, like you're saying it. He also spoke about a communal tone. He also referred to religion. I mean, this is a country where we celebrate a Shah Rukh Khan, a Salman Khan, from Mohammad Rafi till up until now. We have never seen religion in music, in movies. Why suddenly talk about it? Such words coming from a legend like A.R. Rahman, don't you think it's saddening, Atikur Rahman?
That's what something very important, that this is coming from a legend like A.R. Rahman. He is not any Tom, Dick or Harry. We should be seriously taking his words that people are becoming communal, dogmatic, and without any creativity in them. That's the whole point we want to convey, and this is the reality in every household. The people with open mind.
But did he back it up with anything at all? Because he didn't have anything to say. In fact, I can quote a previous interview of him, which was in 2024, where he said that I have decided to slow down. So he spoke about a career slump. It could be because of his own reasons. Why suddenly speak about religion when all this while the entire country has seen him as a music legend? Nikhil Jain, a legend like this now suddenly turning and saying that because of religion he's not getting work. You have Javed Akhtar, who just said, I've never seen something of that sort happen in the industry.
Prathibha, first of all, two different individuals can have two different experiences and therefore two different opinions on a particular topic. You have to keep in mind that there have been a whole bunch of individuals, whether it is Amir Khan or A.R. Rahman, who've pointed out to various problems with the industry, whether it is a communal bias with certain people, whether it is making polarizing propaganda movies, or whether it is, going back from the kind of progressive movies we were seeing in the late 2000s and the early 2010s to make the kind of regressive content that we are seeing right now, and we can see it in the same sequels of the same movie lineups as well. Number one. Number two, Kangana Ranaut is probably the last person I'd want to listen to about anything. She's the same person who's been mudslinging and, you know, making all sorts of melodramatic remarks on pretty much everybody who's not agreed with her. And so far as the movie Emergency is concerned, let me remind Kangana Ranaut and all your viewers that it was the government of India that was delaying the release of Emergency. So what does she mean? That even Modi ji does not like her, or even
about how she wore a masaba sari for the Ram Janmabhoomi event, and then the designer did not want her to even wear the sari. She's talking about bias, open bias like this. Why is there suddenly silence now?
Perhaps a bias like perhaps a bias like that exists, and I don't feel that is right. Anybody who's discriminating against a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian on the grounds of their religion, or some discrimination on the ground of gender, race, creed, state, whatever, is wrong. If somebody is discriminating against A.R. Rahman for being a Muslim, doesn't make another person discriminating another Hindu right. Both the things are wrong, and we should be able to call a spade a spade.
Wrong is how suddenly the Congress and the ecosystem goes silent when it comes about Kangana Ranaut. You had leaders of the Congress party say that there is a dar ka mahal, that there is India has become a hub of hatred when A.R. Rahman speaks, and now he has issued a clarification. Nobody is bothered. He has issued a clarification where he said that his words were taken out of context. Now the Congress and the entire ecosystem goes silent.
Prathibha. Prathibha, first of all, I'm sorry, but I don't see that as a clarification of the statement that he made, that communal bias may have existed in the industry, because what he said is that I don't intend to hurt anyone. I don't see it as a clarification. He's not gone back on his word. He has essentially neither supported that statement nor denied that statement. We all know the kind of political atmosphere we're living in. When Amir Khan came out in public and said that his wife was feeling about the growing religious intolerance in the country, a wife who happens to be a Hindu, we know the kind of trolling that happened, not only of Amir Khan, but the brands which Amir Khan was endorsing, right? We know the kind of ecosystem that runs in this country that doesn't mind one bit giving death threats and rape threats to the wife of a
you're saying that A.R. Rahman was forced to issue this clarification. It's a clarification. You're saying it's not an apology. He's sticking by his stand. Okay, Nikhil, I want to ask you, because, since he said that from 2018 he's seeing this sudden slump, he spoke about religion, he didn't really name the BJP, but he seemed to be suggesting that there is a communal overtone. Lalit Ambedkar, A.R. Rahman has won 2 national awards in the Best Background Score category, that is in 2018. And there have been multiple awards that he has won over the years. Why now suddenly claim that because of religion he is not getting work?
First of all, I want to respond to Mehbooba Mufti, Mufti's remark. Let me remind her through you, through Times Now, that she should be the last person to speak about bias, whose backyard is cleansed of aborigine Hindus in the backdrop of the slogans of "Yahan ka chalega nizam Mustafa, Kashmir mein rehna hoga, Allah Akbar rehna hoga." And the tools of genocide of Kashmiri Hindus were rape, murder, mass murder, and gang rapes, and even vivisection of raped women on saw machines. That's her Kashmir. So let's not talk about it. And about A.R. Rahman, I think now whatever he speaks, I agree with Nikhil Jain. For once, I do agree with him. And A.R. Rahman's whatever he says now doesn't matter, because the damage is already done. A.R. Rahman is not an ordinary musician. Let me remind everybody. He's not just an ordinary musician. He's a scholar of music. He's a world-renowned musician. And if he thinks by demonizing Hindus, because when you say you are being discriminated against, that's obviously he's speaking as the Hindus. Hindus are discriminated against him, and he's demonizing India. He's defaming India, and he thinks he can make us make him elevate himself to New York Philharmonic because Mamdani, the Islamist mayor of New York, is going to support him. I feel it's very sad that he's following into the category such a maestro.
Since you spoke about Mehbooba Mufti, she says Bollywood has always been a living mini India mirroring the country's social realities. But when you make a Kashmir Files, these are the leaders who come out to say that this is just propaganda.
Yes, let me just say. So now Rahman has brought himself down in grace to the level of Khalid, what is the Umar Khalid, and who's other supporter, victim of New York mayor. About Khalid, there's Mehbooba Mufti. Listen, just also this a lesson, a word to the film industry. Till 1990, till the advent of Kashmir Jihad, when Kashmiri Hindus suffered genocide, every Hindi movie had at least one song filmed in Srinagar. Now, all these 35 years, not one single so-called celebrity has ever said, why are the cinema halls of Kashmir closed? Where is Kashmiri Hindu? Now, that one film after, in fact, his first entry, A.R. Rahman's entry into Indian film industry, Hindi film industry was with Rosa. I have spoken about it. Rosa was the first film from Bollywood which produced to the world, we showed the world the menace of Kashmir Jihad. That was at the same time. This movie was silent about Kashmiri Hindu genocide, which was happening right in that period. But I never said that that film has injustice to be biased towards Hindus. Well, it is a prerogative of the creative prerogative of the producer director. Let them show what they want to show. I don't even say anything against my Supreme Court that says rejected twice our plea for justice, because I am a core Indian. What come what may, I will not compromise on my Indianness is not conditional. And all these Islamists who turn her, they don't miss an opportunity to expose their Islamist leanings, And yes, their religion, just let me conclude. Conclude. Their exclusivity is now laced with feeling of victimhood, demonizing Hindus and defaming India.
Okay, victimhood. Atikur Rahman.
Prathibha, for God's sake, Mr. Lalit, do not misguide the viewers of Times Now. Mr. A.R. Rahman never demonized any Hindus. He is just saying that uncreative people have gathered the space of Bollywood. What is demonizing? Prathibha, you need to stop this trend.
Okay, but Professor Atikur Rahman, you'll agree that he did say communal. He did mention religion, and even as we speak, he has given music in the movie of Ramayana, and that is in this year. So why is he bringing up religion when that has not happened up until now? Why the victimhood suddenly? Because he is a legend. Like we mentioned time and again, he is a music legend. The entire country acknowledges it. Why did he say it now? There is a lot of disappointment among his fans who believe that till now we have not seen it until he himself brought it up. He spoke about religion. Why is he speaking about it now in a country where he has received so much love?
So, Prathibha, did you mean to say that if I am loving my India and I am winning 100 awards out of this, I have no chance to say to the people of India what I think is they're turning things? The things are going bad. People are becoming bigoted and dogmatic.
Okay.
When political parties can change their political parties, they can jump from one party to another. A legend like A.R. Rahman.
Okay, so he can get awards, he can continue working even if he's giving music in a film called Ramayana. But Yuvraj Pokharna, he may be feeling the bias, so he spoke about it. What's wrong, he asks?
Prathibha, I don't see any bias. I mean, A.R. Rahman has been the musical maestro, and he's not just an Indian star, he's a global star.
Yes.
Let me remind you, he won an Oscar award for Bharat back for the movie Jai Ho, for the song Jai Ho. So in a country where the film industry is spearheaded by, in fact dominated by three Khans, Shah Rukh, Amir and Salman Khan, what are you speaking? That you're facing some kind of bias? And let Yuvraj be aside. Shobha De, a veteran who has been covering the film industry for about 50 years, she termed this statement as communally sensitive and dangerous, and she also decried this foul statement. And let me also add, the massive love that A.R. Rahman received is not from Muslims or from other communities. His major chunk of fan following is of the Hindu community, including myself. So I don't see any factor. I mean, what is he speaking? And every artist or any media person or any public figure has his share of ups and downs. Yes, I may agree. I am agreeing with the fact that after 2015, it is not the peak time for A.R. Rahman, as music changed. people's perception of the music change and the taste changes. Nowadays, people are Gen Zs transforming towards loitering and levitating towards
reasons that could be attributed to it. Just as, you know, while Kangana Ranaut speaks about how he did not want to be a part of emergency, that's his own choice. Now, nobody can come out and say, why didn't he become a part of this movie? Why did he not participate, or why didn't he engage with Kangana Ranaut? And Nikhil, on that note, I also want to ask you, while we speak of the bias, the religious undertones that's being spoken of, the BJP has also cited the research of an IIM professor where they say that in most of the movies, 62% of the corrupt businessmen were seen to be from the Hindu community, alleging that in the movies there are undertones that show a certain bias against Hindus, whereas people from other communities are shown in a much better way. Now, we speak about bias, undertones, then why not also acknowledge this?
Prathibha, because we live in a country where 80% of Indians are Hindus, so obviously if somebody is depicting any character, good or bad, most of them would be Hindus. And the fact that this IIM professor has done a study like this shows to his very biased, because did he also do a study on the good characters in movies? Because I'll tell you, a majority of them would also be Hindus, because simply because we live in a Hindu majority country. What sort of a ridiculous study is that, and what sort of a ridiculous argument is for the BJP to be making it? Like, I could come out and say, why are 99% of terrorists shown in movies Muslim? Because that reflects a reality that most terrorists that operate in the subcontinent claim to belong to a certain religion, and that is how it is showed. Most businessmen in this country would be Hindu, because most people in this country are Hindus. Most good characters would be Hindu, because most people in this country are Hindu. What sort of arguments are these? The point is simple. You have a person saying that he may have faced some difficulty in getting work because of a communal bias. Why is it an issue of national debate? Why does the BJP have to come out guns ablaze against this individual?
Because the Congress party jumps to it, and there are many Congress leaders, Mehbooba Mufti, who come out and say, yes, this is the reality of every Muslim in the country, whereas it's not. A.R. Rahman has been loved. He has been, he won accolades in the country. Why suddenly change the narrative? Again, like we mentioned, when he clarifies or when Kangana Ranaut speaks up, there is absolute silence. But when A.R. Rahman says a word, the entire ecosystem jumps in to attack the BJP.
Prathibha, the problem with this government and their entire ecosystem is that they look at the entire world with a very Orwellian lens. Why does every single conversation, comment, letter, why does it have to be about a narrative? As an individual, can I not say something? I have the right to be right. I have the right to be wrong. It is my lived experience. Maybe it is not yours. You might have an experience that I have not lived. You may say something that I won't agree with. Doesn't mean you are trying to build a narrative or I am trying to build a narrative. You have a legend of the industry talking about
But he himself said that I can't prove it. These are Chinese whispers.
Let it just settle at there. Why does it have to be in the silos of narratives?
Okay, so Lalit Ambardar, no narrative. This was A.R. Rahman just making a point. Now let's forget about it. Do you agree?
Listen, I repeat, all of us here agree that A.R. Rahman is not an ordinary Indian. He's not an ordinary citizen. He's not an ordinary musician. He's not an ordinary music director. He's a scholar of music, I repeat, and globally known. And the narrative that is being spewed, is being peddled, is that Muslims in the last 10 years are being discriminated against. That is the point. Thank God he didn't say 10 years, he said 8 years. 5 years of second tenure and 3 years of the previous tenure. That's what he's limiting it to that. But what the message is going, that a maestro like this A.R. Rahman is being persecuted naturally by Hindus. Who, as a Muslim, if he said he's being discriminated against on the basis of religion, there's a communal angle to it, then who would do it? Hindus. That means film industry is being taken out by Hindus and they are discriminating against the Muslims of that. So look, Nasiruddin Shah, he made a statement that whenever he always says it, that whenever I go to Pakistan, I find myself at home. But he has never spoken about the genocide, continued genocide of Hindus and Sikhs in that very Islamic Republic of Pakistan. But he never said that. He would never say that he's being discriminated against as far as the work is concerned. He has not been persecuted. He has not been done nothing. No wrong has been done to it. Listen, Hindus for Muslims, generally for Muslims, watching a film is haram. It's only poor Hindus, middle class Hindus who spend their hard-earned money in buying tickets to the cinema hall, and that's how people like A.R. Rahman or Khan Brothers or anybody for that matter becomes a superstar.
Okay,
and then demonizing them only.
Why bring in religion when it has not been taught by the entire country, and we have lived proof? You know, there was a time when there were many Muslim artists who had to change their name. Now we've come well beyond that. We have superstars who are Muslims and they are loved by the entire country. Why suddenly bring in religion? That's where the problem really comes in with A.R. Rahman as well. He is a legend. He remains a legend. But this remark has hurt the fans because of the immense love that he has received. Well, it's up to him. He now, of course, says that his words were misunderstood and he didn't want to hurt anyone. Whether that is a clarification or something else is up to you to decide. We'll have to leave it at that, and thanking Professor Atikur Rahman, Advocate Nikhil Jain, Yuvraj Pukharna, as well as Lalit Abardar for joining us on the broadcast, and slipping into a quick break here.